sometimes doing what I do here by presenting issues that I'm interested in, that I consider to be important, isn't necessarily all that easy. And it isn't for me as easy as just sitting in front of a camera and having a chat. One has to have something sensible to say. And then one has to be somebody that somebody wants to listen to. And I have a number of issues that kind of fall against me in a way. Number one, I'm oldish, and that often YouTubers, to me, or often appear to be quite young. So to be my age and using YouTube to express ideas and to put views forward is a bit of a struggle. So I'm asking you for your support to help me to fund what it is that I do so that I can do more of this. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of issues before I start talking about the issue that I want to talk about, which is Elon Musk and his step into UK politics, and particularly the accusations he's made against Starmer in terms of sexual assault and sexual violence in the UK. Before I talk about that, though, I just wanted to make a plea to you to help me to keep my channel going. And the reason why I want to make this plea is that there are a number of pushbacks I get. Often there are extremely harmful comments that people make, and when you get to my age, you kind of dismiss them to some extent. But I also know that sometimes those comments are just angry people expressing their anger. But it's disheartening also to some extent. And that the ideas I've got, I don't expect people to agree with them by any means. And if people do object to them, then put forward an argument around your objection. Try not to make if people make accusations against me that I think are completely unfounded, I'll just delete you. But I'm quite happy to have a reasonable conversation. I like to think that people were prepared to put some thought into some of the things that they have to say. I had a comment from a woman, Elise is her name, and she made this comment which came up on my email. But when I went to check the comment on YouTube, I found that the comment wasn't there. So the comment had been sent to me via email, which they all are, and then she obviously deleted it. And it was a bit of a shame because I thought it was a really thought-provoking comment about one of my posts. And I wanted to be able to talk about that at some particular point. I think I've saved it, so I might still talk about it at a later date. But what I want to do is refer back to the things that people say, to acknowledge those comments that I think have got value. And there's one particular guy who comments on my site all the time, and even though he's not all that positive, I still appreciate his comments because he's not denigrating or rude. He does criticise me for my ad hominem comments, which is fair enough. But I believe that if you're making a comment about somebody who has political power and influence, and certainly the people that are far more powerful than I am, then I can make honest comments about them, which some people might call name calling. You know, I call Donald Trump a clown because I actually believe he is. And I will make comments about other people that are pretty general, I guess, but which are stating my thoughts, my feelings, if you like, to some extent, how I feel about them, as being quite honest. And I know that people don't, because I haven't been at this for all that long, not as long as some people on the left have been. I do believe, though, that I've got something that needs to be said. And I use this format, this means and the equipment that I've got in order to be able to make those comments to you and produce them in the best possible way that I can. But I need support in order to do that. I have in my studio here equipment that I've valued in software, computers, screens, whatever, at about $10,000. It isn't cheap for me to set this up, and I am now retired. I have limited amount of money that's available to me as a result. But I'd like people to comment on what I say, to certainly subscribe to my channel to engage with me as best as they can about the things that I say that I believe are important. But you may not. I mean, this is a conversation that we can have. This is you having a conversation with me not always agreeing with you, you not always agreeing with me. And that's fine. That's what conversation should be about. But let's have that conversation. And let's have it, when we do have that conversation, let's have it in the most respectful way that we can. Because if you can't, I will simply delete you off my page and remove you if you're a subscriber. I don't care. So, but if you want to have further conversations, please subscribe. I recognise that I'm an old fart. I've just been a social worker for over 30 years now, not my whole life. I've done other stuff as well, but particularly a social worker making social comments about the issues that concern me the most. And one of them, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, is Elon Musk and issues around childhood abuse. Now, I think Elon Musk is potentially one of the most dangerous persons on this planet next to Donald Trump. And I see him as dangerous because he's propagating ideas which he doesn't think about, which he doesn't care about, but which are simply about creating discord, disrupting politics, and having a voice which is ill-informed and unhelpful. I think he doesn't contribute anything to the debate. And this particular issue, which has been raised over the last week around Starmer and his position as a prosecutor at a time when gangs were recruiting young girls and sexually abusing them. And there's a movie, actually, I forget the name of the movie now, but there is a movie that has been made that I have watched in relation to this particular subject. It's a horrific subject. And it's a subject which concerns me particularly because, as I've said on previous posts, I've worked within the child protection space for over 2 decades. I know what happens. I've seen the abuse. I've seen the response of governments to that abuse. And I've been unhappy with most of those responses because they've been inadequate, quite frankly. So I'm informed, I believe. It's an area in which I've spent lots and lots of money, in fact, because I set up a political party that was designed to deal with this problem, this very problem that Elon Musk is attempting to talk about. I've spent the money on it. And I'll talk about a little bit more about how I think one of the particular major failings of Musk is in just a moment. But I wanted to just remind you of what this is about. And there's on Channel 4 in the UK, there was a video that they've put together in relation to this particular subject. So I was hoping to be able to share that with you. And it is this one.
Now, for the second day in a row, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, has been criticizing the Prime Minister on his social media platform X. The row has escalated since yesterday, when it was revealed that Home Office Minister Jess Phillips had rejected calls for a government-led inquiry into historical child sexual exploitation in Oldham, saying instead it would be better for the local council to commission it themselves, as Rotherham and indeed Telford had done previously. Now Musk has taken aim at Sir Keir Starmer's time as head of the Crown Prosecution Service. Kemi Nzera.
Now, that was all the intro I wanted to do, just to remind people what this was about. But the primary issue here is that Elon Musk has chosen to get involved in an issue in which he has no information about whatsoever. And just to take you up further update, this is in India today, funnily enough. Elon Musk links Keir Starmer to Pakistani rape gangs. UK hit back. Elon Musk has been severely critical of the UK government's handling of young girls' sexual exploitation across several towns and cities in England more than a decade ago, in many cases involving gangs of Pakistani origin men. Elon Musk jabbed UK for its handling of rape of girls by pack origin men. Past inquiries revealed that 1,400 girls were sexually abused for 16 years. It was an horrific scandal at the time. UK Health Secretary called Elon Musk's remarks on scandalous misinformation. Tech billionaire Elon Musk has lashed out at UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer over his handling of historic child abuse by gangs of Pakistani origin men in Oldham. Musk claimed that Starmer failed to bring rape gangs to justice when he was the Director of Public Prosecution over a decade ago. And in the Guardian, it takes the same tack in a sense, I guess, but Musk is accused of politicising rape of young girls in UK to attack Starmer. So this is the way by which he chooses to attack Starmer. He hasn't got anything else. So he has to go back 10 years to this particular case. Elon Musk has politicised the rape of young girls in the UK in an attempt to attack Keir Starmer, a former health worker who exposed a major pedophile ring, has told The Guardian. Sarah Rowbotham, who gathered evidence that led to the imprisonment of 9 men in Rochdale, said the tech billionaire had launched a political swipe at the Prime Minister that overlooked the plight of abuse survivors. The Tesla owner, who will have a key role in Donald Trump's incoming administration, on Friday called on King Charles to step in and dissolve Parliament after Labor rejected a call for a national inquiry into child grooming. Musk triggered the row on Thursday over Starmer's handling of child abuse in Oldham after his suggested Prime Minister failed to bring rape gangs to justice when he was Director of Public Prosecution. Rowbotham, who made hundreds of referrals detailing the abuse and sexual grooming while working for the NHS in Rochdale between 2005 and 2011, said, quote, "What is Musk's motivation for interfering? It seems very political. The person he is trying to go after is Keir Starmer. It is a political swipe that has nothing to do with the women and girls who have been abused time after time." Now, the key issues for me are that Elon Musk knows nothing about child trafficking, about sexual abuse of women, of girls, I should say, or women for that matter. I don't know how to word this, but Musk has a very sketchy background himself. He has something like 12 kids. One of them is trans. He has nothing to do with her. And she has nothing to do with him because of his attitude towards trans people. He is a right-wing crazy who has not invested any money whatsoever in addressing the issue around child abuse and pedophilia in particular. He has not made any effort whatsoever to be able to understand what this issue is or to invest in it. And let's face it, if there's anyone on this planet, any one individual on this planet who could provide funding to deal with the issue of child abuse and to resolve the inequities that sit within this massive system, then it would be someone like Elon Musk. But Elon Musk isn't interested in that. In fact, I think it's worth noting that Elon Musk himself, my guess is, doesn't go ahead and write some of this stuff that winds up on X, that someone else does. So he'd have a bank of researchers who go away and they seek information that they believe he can use to have a go at someone politically. And so Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, becomes the target because of this issue that happened 10 years ago. Whether Starmer was he was the prosecutor, agreed, and or he was involved as a worker, I think, in that area, as a community worker, in fact. And, it'd be like saying, I set up a political party called the Child Protection Party. My aim was to create awareness about child protection in our community and to change the system, the government system, so that it was fairer, more adequate, that they didn't remove as many children as they did. Now, that doesn't mean that, I'll reframe that. What it means is I was interested in this issue. I invested thousands of dollars, in fact, in my own political campaigns in order to change all of that, not to mention my time, which was giving up months and months of work in order to be able to advocate and to present the party in the most appropriate way. So I've done all of that. And I'm not a millionaire by any means, far from it. But someone like Elon Musk, who simply has a social platform that he could use to propagate his arguments, which are really about disruption and discord, is ingenuous, because he has not done anything. At least I, who has no money whatsoever, but has a passion for something, which is correcting a wrong, to develop a more equitable system, I've at least put the effort into that. Right? My conscience is clear. I've done what I can. I don't believe I was very successful in a sense, but at least I tried. The contrast, and this is odd, me make a contrast between Elon Musk, because there's no two people that are more different than he and I. But the contrast is that I, as a nobody, at least made an effort. He, as a somebody who's got millions of dollars and a large megaphone, he could make a difference. He could. But he chooses not to, because Elon Musk isn't interested in improving the social fabric of our society. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about his own kids, for Christ's sake. Why is he raising these issues around something that happened 10 years ago because Starmer was involved at that time? It is nothing more than mischief. That's all he's doing. And I think we need to call him out whenever it happens. And it happens a lot. And it's going to become more and more influential as time goes by. And I can tell you now, I'm going to do all that I can to call him out, Trump out. And I do need to say that it doesn't matter which side of politics a person's on. If they're doing things that I personally believe, are not in the best interest of the community in which I and you live in, then I will say so. I am able, even though there will be some people in the comment section who will not agree, because I criticise the right more than I do the left, and that's simply because there are far more serious issues happening on the right than on the left. And the other day, I put out a post a week or so ago concerning Jen Guga. So I do have a view as to what some people on the so-called left are attempting to do. But what Musk and the powerful people in this world attempt to do is to disrupt the government and political systems. Now, I'm the last person who would suggest that those systems shouldn't be disrupted to some extent. I attempted to do it myself at one point politically. It wasn't very successful. I didn't have the megaphone or the money that someone like Elon Musk has. I wished I had, in a sense, because maybe I could have invested that money into charities and to organisations that brought about significant change. But Elon Musk doesn't even do that. He's a fraud in many ways because he has no social conscience, no moral compass, no sense of right and wrong apart from what is right for him, which is the way most narcissists see the world. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as I said before, it'd be really helpful if you do subscribe to my channel so that it doesn't cost you anything to do so. And it certainly helps me out. And I would really appreciate that. Thanks for being here, everybody. Take care. Look after yourselves. And more importantly, be safe.